What is something that your generation did that no younger generation will ever get to experience? Record songs off the radio onto cassettes. My brothers and I used to sit around a cassette recorder and make our own fake morning radio shows. Like, Alright, Alright. It's Minor 49er coming to you live and you just heard Duran Duran. Coming up next we got Quick. What cassette do we have? Warrant. With their new song, Heaven. Then we'd get a second tape player, play the song next to the tape recorder and record it with really shitty quality. I think those tapes are still buried in my mom's house somewhere. One of these days, I should upload them onto SoundCloud for shits and giggles. Experience the transition from dial-up to high-speed internet. Holy crap. It was amazing when my parents finally made the switch. I was sort of dumbfounded, like, so you're telling me all I need to do is click on Internet Explorer and I'm just magically on the internet? I was amazed when my family first got DSL. My reaction was essentially, so you're telling me I can be on the internet while someone else is on the phone? Call a parent collect just to hurry up and say what you needed when prompted to leave your name. You have a collect call from "Hey mom, pick me up from the mall." Call from "We had dabba by Eatsa Boy." OMGs. That commercial was so funny because we all did that, lol. Wait outside the closed school for your mom to pick you up with no way to contact her. You start thinking if she doesn't come, you will have to assimilate yourself with the other street orphans and try to survive. She definitely got in a car accident. What is life going to be like without her? Can dad make it work as a single father? Oh god, the funeral, it's going to be so sad. She won't be there to put notes in my lunch anymore. I can't believe this happened. Oh, there she is. And then I wave and run over, climb in the back seat, buckle up and ask what we are having for dinner. I probably did this 3 to 4 times a week. I was a very anxious kid. Switching to channel 3 to be able to play Nintendo. Once in a while I'd decide to be exotic and change it to channel 4. I was a boring child. The total joy when the Sears toy catalog came out before Christmas, which was replaced by the Toys R Us catalog for my kids. Now they're both gone. Calling movie phone late at night so your friends could call you without your home phone ringing. Having to call your crush's home phone and their parents answering, embarrassing bonus when you don't know they're a junior, so when you ask for them by name, you get a reply speaking. Not being able to use the phone while on the internet / purposely pissing your siblings off by picking up the phone while they're on the internet. Calling your parents from a payphone to come pick you up when your movie was over. Remembering your friends' phone numbers in your head. I can still remember a handful of phone numbers from friends when I was a kid. And having to wait to see if the pictures you took came out actually turned out okay. Edit forgot a word. I know a few, but it's all people that have had the same cell number since the 90s, back when I had a pager. Downloading stuff for an hour then getting cut off at 99% because some idiot decided to pick up the phone. It still catches me off guard sometimes how fast my broadband is. I see a 15 gigabytes update for a game and think that blows my plans for playing tonight, and then it's done in 10 to 15 minutes. Listening to your sister talking to her crush on the phone with the other wired phone. And periodically pressing the buttons on the phone to mess with them. This reminded me of this one time my parents wouldn't stop fighting. Brother and I huddled in the room sad and crying. Think I was 7. Brother called his best friend and asked him to prank call our house over and over again. Both my parents soon diverted their anger towards the mysterious prank caller and the fighting stopped. Get away with tons of shenanigans in college because there weren't cameras everywhere. Also, getting to say words like shenanigans. Saturday morning cartoons. Most everything is online now, and, even if the choice wasn't available, there are entire channels dedicated to cartoons all day, every day. There's no kid today waking up at 6 a.m. to watch Saturday morning cartoons when the internet sits there as an ever-expanding library of entertainment. Roller skating is a mainstream activity. Large, dimly lit rink with smoke machines, lights, and a disco ball. Refreshments sold, including food, soft drinks, and even beer for the adults. An arcade section. Tons of people there, loud 80s synth pop, and everything was decorated in earth tones. The smell of freshly mimeographed worksheets in elementary school. Luv, the smell of that toxic? Blurry purple ink. Being not available. Before mobile phones, if you wanted to talk to someone you had to find a landline, and hope they were actually in, or go around their house. Now, it's all instant messaging in its many forms, with the sender expecting an instant reply. On the same theme, I miss not having clearly defined working hours. Back then, if you wanted to talk to me about work stuff, you'd have to do it on Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, I get work emails and phone calls every day of the week, 24 hours a day. People seem to have lost that sense of boundary, and seem to think it's okay to pester me at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night. Burn a CD. I used to spend hours strategically picking 16 to 20 songs to listen in the car that month on my way to school. And then you'd get a CD burning error just as it was finishing, and now you've wasted another CD. I don't remember how much they cost back then, but I remember it was painfully expensive to keep throwing them away when burning your own CDs was still a new thing. Watch MTV when it showed nothing but music videos, artist interviews and concert footage. Waiting through boy bands videos to watch a Korn video on TRL and then them only playing like half the song because time constraints. Rewinding movies in the VCR. And then having a whole separate appliance to rewind them slightly faster. I worked at a video store and we had two super cool race car rewinders, and I always enjoyed when there was a tape in both of them and it was like a race. The birth of the internet. Life before internet and cell phones. I can vaguely recall it. I'm just old enough to remember when texting came out. My parents thought it was a fad and would die out in a year. After all, who would want to have to type something up when they could just talk on the phone? As it turns out, everyone. All the stupid things we all do in high school, without social media to commemorate it forever. Story: in 1985, some friends of mine planted a sign in the middle of the field at our big rival's football stadium the night before the game. Undoubtedly something super clever like "Klein sucks." They only got caught because they took a photo. A cop saw the flash and they got arrested for trespassing, camera confiscated, or at least the film. So we were all robbed of wonderful picture commemorating the event. But in 2019 that photo would be going straight to social media, cop or no. Putting up an away message on AIM so the people you didn't want to talk to wouldn't message you, while still continuing to talk to others. Or really, just the concept of being away and unable to be reached at all. I get that there are services that still have an away setting. I'm referring to the fact that when you were away from the computer, you were truly away. There was no expectation that anyone could get in touch with you until you came back. Now, everyone carries phones around, and while it's possible to make yourself unavailable, it's not the norm, and it's probably something later generations will have a hard time understanding. Rent movies from a store. I get decision paralysis when trying to work out what to stream. It's weird, but it seemed easier to make a movie night work when there was an element of going to pick some stuff out and committing. Playground rumors/myths in video games. I feel like they still exist, but to a much smaller degree. Only thing from recent memory I can think of is Herobrine from Minecraft. But back in the day? Man, every game you played had like 6 rumors surrounding it. Secret codes, weapons, levels, you name it. Shit like Mew hiding under the truck in the old Pokémon games, the fabled code to make Lara Croft naked, Bigfoot hiding in the woods in GTA San Andreas, the secret cow level from Diablo, the list goes on. Play video games without being able to Google what to do next. I remember calling the Nintendo helpline and paying something like $2.99 a minute for tips on how to beat the boss in Ninja Gaiden. It was either that or save up my allowance so that I could buy a 30 strategy guide from Toys R Us. 4 hours blank VHS tapes. You tape some film that was on TV, and then some time later, you find out some other film is going to be showing and you want to record that. How do you figure out how much time is left on the tape? Math? Nope, you look at the window and the little notches will tell you how much time is left on the tape. Those were the days.